All right, let's roll. Hello, and welcome to the Big Money Stylist podcast. I am your host with my co-host, Mrs. Ani Rivera. I always want to add extra syllables to your name for some reason.
Most people say Riviera for some reason. I'm like, I'm not a place in Mexico.
Rivera.
Yeah, Rivera.
Yeah, I was like, isn't that how you say it? Rivera. But then I wanted to be like, Riviera. I want to say Riviera. I'm not going to lie. Welcome to the Riviera. Just kidding. Hey, if you see us on video, you'll know my baby's in the podcast studio. Ani's got a bun in her hair. I've never seen you with a bun.
No, in 2 years, you may have never seen my hair.
No, literally. I was like, who are you?
It was hot today.
I think it looks cute, though.
I
think you'd be really cute in like a little high pony or something, or like the mid pony, you know?
Oh, for sure. I actually love them, but it hurts my head so bad.
It hurts my head, yes.
And let it be known, it's with or without extensions. I don't put my hair
No,
up.
I don't like, I agree. It was funny because I went to a barbecue at a friend's house and she's like, I never see your hair in a ponytail. And I was like, you told me to not get ready and that I had to wear my hair in a ponytail, but just so you know, this hurts.
Yeah. Well, Laura, I had Laura at DKW do it literally as I'm beating a client. It's fine. The client was a friend, but I was like, Laura, I'm sweating. Put my hair up.
Yes.
So she did it though
hot.
where it doesn't pull or hurt anything.
Is there an elastic in there?
One.
I
don't know how she fucking did it.
What magic trick is this?
Guys, go to bigmoneystylistnow.com and go look at this thing, this live creature sitting on my head.
I got a baseball cap on.
I know. I'm like, we both walk in, look at each other and go, oh.
Oh, how's your Friday?
Oh, do you normally come to work like that?
I was going to like go put some makeup on or something. And then I was like, fuck it. It's a podcast. I think podcast is like the one place on social media where you like, people respect you more if you have like dirty hair or something. You know what I mean? Like you're serious.
My rule is just Friday. I'm not putting, if I don't have an event or filming, I'm not putting on makeup.
I usually don't get ready on Fridays till like the nighttime if we're going somewhere.
Oh, it's date night.
It's date night. So yeah. So anyway.
Also, I told Krishana, I explained to her who Susan is.
Oh, she has a new name.
What's her name?
It's Marg.
Marg?
Yeah, it's the advanced version of Susan.
Marg?
Katie named her. It was supposed to be Margaret, and then she goes, I'm going to call you Marg. And I was like, you're the one that likes margaritas. It's not me.
So in case you guys don't know, whenever Danielle gets really drunk, we call her Susan. So I was telling Krishana about the first time I met Susan when you tackled me on the beach at the montage.
Oh, yeah, that was, let's not do any company meetings like that again.
She was like, I want to meet Susan so bad.
No, the best is when we were playing hide and seek in the montage. I just remember hiding behind a plant going, do you think anyone could see us?
I peed on the beach. How about that?
Oh, that was rough.
It was a great night.
You know what? I will say we had all worked really hard. And I was like, hey, you guys, we need to have a team meeting. But I knew I didn't want to discuss anything. I was actually looking for to a bonding meeting because we bonded. We had a lot of new stuff going on, and then we get there, we talked about a little work, and then I was like, who wants a flight of tequila? Sure, something. Isn't that what I don't remember?
Well, because at the time, I didn't really drink alcohol. Not for any, I didn't have a problem. I just didn't care.
That's why it went south. Okay,
yes.
So we're sitting there like classy women having a skinny marg. I wasn't planning on having more than one skinny marg. I was like, whatever. And then Ani starts talking about how, oh no, guys, I don't drink, because we're like, just have a freaking marg.
And finally they were like, will you please just take one shot of tequila?
Well, that's where it went.
Fun fact about me, I'm either sober or we're going hard.
We went hard.
We had to get a driver. We went to the salon.
You know what? Thank God my husband texted me and was like, I'm sending the driver. Don't worry about it. Have fun. I was like, well, you said have fun. Ani's 2 shots in. Fuck it. We're doing it.
We ended up taking, I think, about 5-6 shots of tequila apiece.
Oh my God.
We were wrecked.
You know what? What happened is we went over to the rooftop no, not the rooftop, the Mozambique
rooftop.
And these old dudes were like, ladies, can we buy you drinks? And we were like, we're 4 shots in. Why not? And then it was rough. So.
And then you were like, let's go to the montage. And we're like, we've never been to the montage.
Do you know that
we're
was
not so fancy.
The most hungover I've ever been in my entire
The next day,
life.
Danielle's going, guys, I think I got food poisoning. We're like, bitch, you are hungover.
I've never been that hungover. I did not know. And Ani comes over all peppy and she's like, hey, you ready to go to work? And I was like, how are you peppy right now? It was rough. So.
It was amazing. Let's talk about bonding inside of the workplace.
No, is that our topic?
It's going to be for half a minute.
This is what our topic's going to be, tribes. There you go. That's our topic, tribes.
Yes, because let me tell you, DKW right now, there's so many of us, and I love everybody.
You know what?
Which is a very rare thing to be able to say.
I had somebody, who was it? Oh, a big, Lori Harder. She came, she's a big social media influencer. She does tons of events. Yeah. She came in, I said hi. She was like, she DM'd me and was like, hey, I just want to let you know, your girls seem like they genuinely love their, I don't know what she said exactly. But
Specifically?
But she was like, hey, your team seems like they're really happy. That says a lot about you. I love my hair. It's the best it's ever looked. And I was like, fucking win. Yes. So, but I think that, like, I think people notice when you, I was going to say have a bunch of catty bitches working for you, but I won't say that.
We'll say have a bunch of catty bitches working for you.
I think if you're not happy in, like, your place of employment or there's tension, like, the clients see it too, whether, like, I think it affects the experience. And I want to go to somebody who I feel like loves their job. You know what I mean?
Well, and it's even because I'm normally only in the salon on Tuesdays, but this was like a special circumstance today for one of my clients. And Amanda always works on Tuesdays, and you know, me and her together, it's just we banter, we get loud, and we banter so much. I've had clients before, I'm like, in case you can't tell, we're friends, and they were like, I love coming on Tuesdays because it's just so fun.
That's fun day. So if you want to book a DKW Styling, go for a Tuesday. No, but like seriously, like even if you think about, I know I'm just going to take it that like to our education. So I have an education program called Natural Beauty Rose, and we've said this on some of the other podcasts. Is we're kind of shifting gears this next year, and we're right now but I have a large mastermind because I always felt like one extension class or one certification class is hold on.
She has baby Isla here, and Isla was like, I'm not drinking this bottle anymore.
But I feel like it was it's evolved to more than just a mastermind. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. This is really how to get your life in check. It's not just like, do some hair, go to work.
It's like, it's business, but it's also like, if you have other areas in your life that suck, then you suck. But not, it's kind of kidding, but serious. Like, it affects.
But for real, though.
But for real. It's like, if you are struggling in one area of your life, it ultimately pours over into your business life, or your business life. Like, they're all kind of connected. So at some level, I remember like even when I first started doing like working with Garrett, because he does a lot of like mindset and coaching and training and all that, and I was like, super lame. I don't need
My husband's a life coach.
I don't need that life coach shit. I just want to do hair and have a margarita. No, but for real. And I was like, and we have people all the time. We're like, hey, we call it Big Money Stylist or Business Marketing and Sales of Natural Beauty Rose. And we're like, hey, come to our education. They're like, I don't need that stuff. And
I just want to learn the method.
But here's the thing, like, you'll get something out of it. And the more I'm around it, when I hear myself talk, I'm like, God damn it, I'm a damn life coach. Like,
we are, though.
But we are. And I think that it plays like a huge role in your business. But next year is going to be good.
DKW Styling.
Just like give them a smidge. Just give them a smidge of where we're going. Because it was a mastermind, but now we're turning it to a school.
It's literally DKW Styling Academy, and we're going to have, I know we talked about it a little bit before, but Danielle and I, we sat down yesterday for basically the whole day and really figuring out structure inside of not just like, okay, we're going to teach you color. Well, the brand new newbies who come in, they need to learn color one way. The students that are going to be in phase 2, they need, a more like intermediate color. The students that are going to be in phase 3, they need advanced color. So we really broke down not just NBR inside of color, sectioning, beadwork, stitching, end beads. The jumpsuit is the cutest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. Little baby Isla has on this leopard print jumpsuit. I have to hold her before you guys leave, just so you know. You're not leaving until I hold her. Anyway, but we went through and really figured out, like, okay, inside of every single phase, like, where can we meet the students? Because realistically, a brand new newbie is not going to be able to do a 3-row short bob adding length and diffusing that hard line. It just doesn't work because it's so complicated.
Sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm literally caught in my headphones.
There we go.
Keep going. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
But we had to sit there and really say, okay, how do we meet the students where they're at so they can continuously progress to the next stage? So inside of literally color, sectioning, beadwork, stitching, end beads, placing hair, cut, style, photos, applications, consultations, client experience, we're really funnels. Like, we're taking it step by step to say, great, here's where you're at for these 6 months. How do we get you to the next 6?
And here's what I'm just going to say, because I feel like it's so much more than beads and application and like how you put it in. Like, if your photo finish or your color or your cut doesn't blend, I don't care what system of hair extensions you're using, you're not going to be able to pick up more clients.
No. And that's what I tell everybody. You can't just, what's so interesting? One of actually the mastermind girls said this the other day, because we always say you have to do your daily 4, which is posting a picture, doing a video, sending client an audio, and then writing like a text blog type post. And inside of that, she's like, it blows my mind. She's like, I've been in mastermind for a while. She goes, and I was doing it. She goes, but here's what I realized. Even inside of doing it, she's like, it's not just like posting a photo is good enough. There's a lot of little steps that go into it. And I said, let's think of it this way. Oh, it's okay, little nugget. But I said, let's think of it this way. Something that's so natural to us. Like if you're watching me, like Danielle's patting baby Isla on the back and I'm sitting here waving my hands because I can't talk without them apparently. And I don't sit here thinking, okay, brain, now I need you to move this muscle like this. It's something that happens automatically. And I told her, I said, for your body to even work, you have to have the thought. Your brain sends a signal all the way down your spinal cord. That releases chemicals that go all the way down into the muscles. And that starts kind of contracting or expanding, which is like the simplest way I can put it. I go, but think about it. All you're doing is thinking, either you're thinking I'm going to walk here or you're just doing it automatically. But there's so many tiny micro steps that your body takes in order to give you that outcome. So although you can say, I just want to post a picture and get clients. But well, that's great, but it's...
You don't even see it. It's like you don't...
No.
Like you'll be like, I'm doing all the checklists, I'm doing all the steps, and like you don't see it until you advance and you get further, and then you're like, oh my God, now I can see the difference.
Now, okay, it's not just, well, I took a photo, who gives a shit? Well, wait, how was my client looking? How was her head turned? Where were her eyeballs? Where was light shining onto them? Was light coming in from the back? Was there one weird wonky piece? There's so many more things that go into just posting one fucking photo. And when I said that, they were kind of like, oh my God, you're right.
Yeah.
So the way we're structuring out DKW Styling Academy next year, why we're so excited, it's not this overwhelm of like, here's all the information Danielle's had in 10 years and me 4.5 of doing NBR. It's structure.
More structured, yeah. I think that's what's hard is like when you get really good at your craft, sometimes you don't appreciate how you got good at your craft. And it's hard to break it down. It's like one thing to be good, but it's one thing to teach why you're good at what you do.
And that makes all the difference. And so I feel like because obviously Danielle's the first one that taught me, and then I've been at this for 4.5 years now and 2 as a trainer here. But I feel between her and I, there's so much knowledge that we have. And then we have 3 more national trainers starting in January that it's like they're already in the process of being trained. They'll just be taking their own classes starting in January. That there's so much. And
I'm
if we
excited, though, because I feel like we're setting people up to win. Like before, it was almost like you explained it the best one time. You're like, we have a bucket of content that people are like, it's almost too much information that people tend to get overwhelmed and they don't know exactly where to go. So even if we have weekly trainings where we feel like we're pouring our heart out and adding a ton of value, if you're not ready to hear what we're telling you, you'll get overwhelmed and you won't be able to apply it.
Yes. It's like, this is like me going to the gym. I walk into the gym and there are so many machines and so many things and so many weights and so many, oh my God, how did you know? That's literally what
I do. I'm like, oh, fuck, that one's got like a knob and a twist. And
I'm like, why is that person upside down dangling? What happened here?
And then I'm like, why can't I get different results? Because I'm too scared to try something different.
Literally, like the gym for some reason is like a terrifying place for me. And that's why sometimes I go with like people who know how to use the gym. Yeah. But then I'm like, I know I'm also
the gym buddy.
I'm fucking up your workout though. Sorry, Parker. Shout out to you.
But you know what is so cool though? Like I feel like this is going to give us an opportunity for, just like I said, everybody wins. I think in the past when people would join my mastermind, they created a sense of community. We created a tribe. They made a ton of new friends. Like. Just like because I mean literally like
yes,
like I think of like your bridesmaids were people that you met from, or no, not your bridesmaids, I'm sorry,
I canceled that wedding.
No, but you were bridesmaids as somebody who
I had attended.
Yeah, like so many bonds are formed in that tribe experience and everything. And so it's like, but people would join mastermind and they're like, well, do I do this for life? You know, there was like no end in sight. And so if we structure it like an academy, like a college, like then there's an end in sight, there's a goal in sight, then everybody wins. And then not only that, it's structured where that we know we're setting you guys, like everyone up to win.
And we've said this before, or maybe we've just recently started saying it, but at the end of the day, if Danielle and I do our job and what we're so passionate about and we do it correctly, the students aren't here forever. Because our goal is to have them so confident in the art and then have them have their business so structured and set and strong that it can actually work without them, and that creates a legacy. That's maybe their kids will be working inside the salon, or they can travel more with their kids, like whatever it is. If we do our job correctly, and we're really setting artists up just to have a great life, and you don't need to be with us forever.
Right. But I still think that you can take your friends, you can take the community, you can take those relationships and keep them like you would at any school. You know what I mean? Oh my God,
yes.
And so that's why I'm like super stoked is I'm like, listen, you get like everything you did in the past, but now it's like, fly, little birdie, you know?
Leave the nest. Well, and something I think is really cool, because right now we have about 300 new artists coming to BMS Con 4 in just a couple of months, by the way.
I know.
A couple months, Danielle.
It's really creeping up
I'm shitting my pants. I know. Hi, baby. Hi. Hi, Hi, little nugget. She's so fucking cute. But actually, one of them had just, so I've been getting, Danielle and I just finished this past Wednesday a training for BMS Con 4, and I've been getting DM after DM after message after message after message of them just being like, thank you guys. Nice. Thank you. They're like, we've never had anybody care so much, like ever, because we really talked about balance inside of your relationships with your partner, with your children, with your friends, with yourself is really the big topic that we had last week or this past week. And they were like, I've never had anyone actually sit down and like make me think about it.
Well, and it's so crazy because like, I can't remember. I think I told you this. Like one of my trainers had called me and she thought she had an assistant program. And then it turned out she just she needed an afternoon for her. Like she didn't have balance with her self-time. You know what I mean? So all these little areas play a huge role. And so, yes, we teach you a ton of the art, like a ton of the art. And we also, like, Ani and I are fairly tech savvy. And you're probably more so than, actually, I'm pretty tech savvy. I think I've been able to, like, let go a little bit because now I have teams. But in the beginning, like, I coded my own blog. I did my own YouTube. I did my own YouTube editing. I did my own email. I did my own email list. I did, like, I know how to create an ad on Facebook. Like, I know enough of the basics, but I don't want to do all that. So I hire that out. But that's the other thing is we're not only just touching base on, like, the art and life and all that, but we're pretty fucking tech savvy. And I feel like that's a big piece that everybody just wants to do, like social media. Hey, I hashtagged, cool.
It's not enough anymore because it's so saturated.
I was going to say, you want to know why it doesn't work anymore? So, like, in the beginning when I started my brand, like, don't mind the baby grunting. That's how committed I am to this podcast. In the beginning, when I started my YouTube channel, it wasn't, like, YouTube wasn't, it was popular, but it wasn't, like, super oversaturated, specifically for hairdressers. And I just started, like, sharing curling tips and tutorials and all this. But because the market wasn't oversaturated, and I wasn't, like, at the end, I wasn't like, now buy my shit. I wasn't, like, it was just like, hey, if you want to follow me and see more hair tutorials, like, follow me. And so now what the trend is doing is people are, like, you'll see ads all the time on Facebook and Instagram, but they're not like free content videos. Yeah, there's stories and boomerangs and all that shit, but there's not like, hey,
click here, buy this.
Yeah, yeah. There's like the ads. People are running ads on click here, buy this. They're not running ads on organic stuff. And now the market's so oversaturated. So you have these girls who are spending like so much time doing videos, but not enough people are seeing it. It's not that the content's not good. It's that not enough people are seeing it. So I'm not going to share my secrets, but.
Did you hear, Garrett and I had actually been sending this a couple months back there, because they're like, I just want more followers. And I'm like, that doesn't fucking mean anything.
It doesn't do anything. It doesn't convert.
Well, there was a blogger girl, lady, whoever, I don't even know who she was, but she had like 1 million some followers, right? Okay. And she was like, guys, I'm going to start this new line, this new like t-shirt line, clothing line.
It failed.
Yeah, well, she was like, would you guys buy it? They're like, I would buy it. Everyone was like, buy. And she's like, great. So she sent out basically put the link out, and all she had to do to really get her clothing brand started was sell like 30 t-shirts to her 1 million followers. She didn't do it.
It was at 30. That seems like sad.
No, it was like 30, 35. Because Gary and I were literally sitting there like, fuck me, man. 1 million people, and she couldn't sell 35 shirts.
Well, and that's what's so funny is like you have to find out in your business like what's converting. Like when we do ads, like you have to be able to go behind the scenes and be like, okay, is this organic? Is this paid? And like you have to kind of dial it in. There's no magic pill to marketing. So you have to be somewhat like tech savvy, and you have to be really, like, for me this last like 6 months, I've been very much behind the scenes, and I think people maybe are just like, oh, cute, she had a baby. I'm like, oh, no, cute, I had a baby. And I literally I'm like obsessed with like figuring out every angle of my business right now.
You and I have been back and forth 10,000, and not like in an arguing way, like, hey, what about this? What about that? Let's do this.
It's just like it's like
so
planning.
much planning.
And it's so funny because I thought, oh my God, what a weird year for me to have a baby. And then I'm like, what a perfect year for me to have a baby, because like Garrett used to be involved in my business, but he wanted to like focus on Warrior, and it was going a direction that it wasn't my vision.
Yeah.
And I was like, I can't. And I'm like, I'm not done. Like it's not like I built it up to a point and I'm like, yeah, I did it. Like I see it going so much further. And so I kind of like, I didn't fire Garrett. I joke around and say that, but I literally was like, you do your thing, I'm taking back over. And so it was kind of perfect timing that I had a baby this year, because I haven't been behind the chair as much. And I've been able to really like look at every angle of my business and say, is this working? And like I said, I don't do every little thing. I'm not there coding blog posts. I'm not there doing all the ads. I'm not doing all that. But I have to have a basic understanding to know where I want to take my company.
So I just think I'm fucking geeked. There's so many great things happening.
No, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be good. Like I have like a really good feeling about next year of like where it's going. And I have my Isla. This is little Isla right here, but I also have a hand-tied hairline that, interestingly enough, I don't know if I shared. Did I tell you the story? Like I was running on the treadmill. This was like when I just found out I was pregnant, and all of a sudden I saw a blonde little girl running around, and I was like, her name's Isla. And then I didn't even know I was having a girl. Then I found out I was having a girl, and then like the next day they're like, you need to come up with a line for your, or a name for your hairline. And nothing felt good, and I was like, I'm naming it Isla. And then she pops out, and she has like a full head of platinum blonde hair.
No, literally platinum
I was like,
white
man,
blonde hair.
You're gonna take over my hairline empire, okay, little baby.
Thanks, little nugget.
But anyways, I just think it's important to like, I don't know. I feel like the community that we're creating, it's going to be win-win for everybody. And
and really, here's the deal. You go farther when you're surrounded by people who not only want the same thing as you, but are excited for your growth and success. If you're surrounded by people who are like, oh, that's so fucking lame, whatever, it 100% holds you back. And that's what I think is so great about Mastermind and DKW Styling Academy and really the culture that's been created. Every single person inside of the program has an accountability buddy. Do you know how I think you had already left the training because baby Isla, but one girl, she was like, I just want you to know the greatest thing to ever come out of this was my accountability buddy.
Oh, nice.
She's like, we have been back and forth. We've shared. She's like, some days when I feel like
you're
a failure.
my accountability buddy. I'll be like,
we're each other's accountability buddy.
I'm at the podcast student. I'm like, damn it, Isla, we're going.
I'm like, oh, you're not great. I'm here, Danielle. But I love it. So let's just do, because I know Isla's getting antsy, but final words on just like the people you surround yourself with and change and growth in 2020.
I think I told our mastermind this, but I'm like, listen, we always are so worried and concerned about what other people think about us, but the reality is nobody really cares about you. They're really more interested in themselves.
Yeah.
And so they might say comments or why are you doing this or why, like, it doesn't matter, because in the end, they don't put much thought into it. You do. So I always tell people, I'm like, get out of your own way. Mm-hmm. Like, if I could leave you guys with anything, I always tell people, I'm like, tunnel vision, know your goals, and align yourself with people that have the same values as you do. And when those values don't align, don't be afraid to find yourself a new group, a new tribe, a new whatever that align you in the direction that you want to go with what your values are. And at the end, I had to shut out my whole family at one point. Like, literally, I was like, Mom, don't text me. Mom, I'm blocking you from social media.
Well, and something that I hear all the time, just one really quick thing, is people always say, they're like, oh, I'm just surrounded by takers. Well, look, you can't be pissed at the people taking if you keep willingly giving.
Right.
Then stop giving that much. You can't be pissed at your client for coming in on a Saturday if you let her.
Well, and
it's up to you at the end of the day.
Two people in a relationship to get to like that kind of situation. You know
yes.
What I mean? And so even like, that's like one thing that's really helped me in business is like, when I have a bad, like a negative experience or review or whatever, I have to be like, okay, when I'm immediately triggered at that person, fucking Becky.
Becky.
we were joking around. We're like, that client that
there's
nobody
no
wants.
Real Becky.
It's Becky, but there's no real Becky. But you have to ask, like, I used to get so triggered, and then I'm like, but why did that situation happen? And if you really, like, dial back in that there's two people in a relationship that make it work, whether it's business or personal, it really, like, kind of, like, jabs you in the face a little bit, or maybe not the face.
Right in the face.
Right in the face. Maybe the gut.
Right in the heart.
But it just makes you, like, be accountable to yourself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, it does.
So if I could leave you guys with one final word, it would be tune out the noise, be accountable to yourself, and just go with your gut.
Guys, thank you for being here for the Big Money Stylist podcast. You can look at my big ass bun and baby Isla in the sweetest little onesie I've ever seen at bigmoneystylistnow.com, and we will see you next week.